Hey there, Empowered Tribe. It's Angela T. Moore. You are getting ready to experience the next episode of Empowered, a health and wellness podcast where I share my personal journey of health and healing, tips for mental and physical health, interviews with health and wellness experts and those bold enough and vulnerable enough to share their own journeys to empower you to succeed in yours. We know that life can be rewarding. It can also be challenging. It has its ups and downs, highs and lows. I learned that with a strong mind and a fit body, you are better able to grow through and grow from whatever life throws your way. My goal is to share journeys of health and wellness, as well as tips and information from extraordinary people all around the world to help you live an empowered life. My next guest, Dr. Michael D. Lutz, is the president and founder of the Men's Health Foundation and a urologist with the Michigan Institute of Urology. He has practiced in Metro Detroit, Michigan since 1986. He is board certified in the specialty of urology by the American Board of Urology. He is experienced in all areas of adult urology and has special interests in urological oncology, male fertility, and urologic stone disease. In this episode, Dr. Lutz and I have an empowering conversation about men's health. Our conversation centers around the upcoming Men's Health event in Detroit, emphasizing the importance of proactive health care for men. Men are encouraged to be proactive instead of reactive when it comes to their health. Dr. Lutz discusses the various screenings available, the significance of mental health support, and the role of community resources in promoting men's health. The event aims to address barriers such as cost and time, providing over $2,000 of free screenings, immediate free access to support and resources, as well as educational and vocational opportunities. Additionally, we talk about the importance of key people in key places, like barbers and barbershops, for health conversations and health support. By coming together for health, we can create healthier people and healthier communities. I hope you enjoy the episode. So welcome back to Empower, Dr. Lutz. It's so nice to have you here today. How are you doing?
Great to be back.
Yeah, it's so nice to see you. Now, what's interesting, the last time we talked, we were actually talking about Men's Health Week, which was actually June 10th through June 16th. Today, we're going to be talking about an event that I'm always excited about, the Men's Health event, which will be held Saturday, September 21st at Ford Field, right here in Detroit, Michigan. Can you kind of provide like a general overview of the event, and then we'll get into the specifics so that those that may have questions will be able to answer those questions in detail?
Sure. Well, this is our 14th annual Men's Health event, and we're going to be holding it at Ford Field on Saturday, September 21st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The reason the event takes place is because a number of men in our greater Detroit community count on it. They need this to take place. It's a fully free event for men's health educational opportunities, screening opportunities, and follow-up care arrangements. And we use this event to help bring the men's health community together, to bring our sponsors and partners together, and to have this kumbaya moment where everybody gets together to celebrate men's health and to find ways to get healthy and stay healthy.
I love it. Now, it's really interesting because in previous conversations on my radio show, you and I talk about the unfortunate reality that many men fail to prioritize their health. They usually only go to the doctor due to an illness or emergency, not from a proactive or I would say a preventable perspective. What negative impact do you believe waiting for illness or disease to happen has on a person's physical and mental health?
We have so many examples how reactive healthcare is dangerous to survivorship. And we can just show one statistic so well is that this year, almost 300,000 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States, the highest number ever to be diagnosed in the United States. And the reason that is that a number of men chose not to get screened during COVID. And something like that, just one event, although it was a global event, had such an impact. And now on the other side of the coin, now that men are saying, hey, maybe I need to get back in the game. Maybe I need to get those screening opportunities. We're now detecting this incredible reservoir of disease. And so if you can imagine translating prostate cancer new diagnoses to heart disease, lung disease, other malignancies, there's going to be an explosion of diagnoses just due to the lack of being preventative during a period of time that was so life-changing. And so we believe that our event has an incredible role in getting guys back in the game to find out what their risks are, to get those screenings up to par, and to know what their risks are as far as would they need to be treated, do they need to be diagnosed, and how do they move forward from this point?
Now, unfortunately, lack of finances and lack of time can be I think can be an issue for men seeking to take better care of themselves. I mean, I think that's what they feel. I don't have enough time. I don't have the resources to go to the doctor, to follow up on doctor's recommendations, to do even the things that the doctor may recommend. What I would like to ask you is, how does this event address those issues? Because I understand that these screenings are going to be free, but from a time perspective, can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Actually, both questions are apropos. One is cost. There's no question that it would be very expensive to get all the services we provide in one day at all of the numerous doctor visits that it would take to get these screenings accomplished. In addition, it would take an incredible amount of time and time off for you to get these screenings performed in a timely fashion. So we're telling men that you can come to Ford Field on Saturday, September 21st, anywhere from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And within 1 to 2 hours, you can probably get all of the screenings you would hope to that would actually take care of all of your screening needs for a period of a year to get you ready for your next year's physical exam. In fact, over 10% of our attendees use this event as their annual physical exam.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that in previous conversations, and I think about how long, just even for myself, it takes to go to my primary care physician, and then if I go to my gynecologist, and then if I go to the eye doctor, and if I'm making many appointments, taking time off from my day, and I'm having to travel to go to each of these appointments. And oftentimes I can't schedule these appointments all at the same time. They're kind of like spaced out. So I think about the time that I'm spending driving just to the appointment, and then the time it actually takes to actually do the appointment, and all of that. I wish there was a women's health event so that we could,
Well, I just think of whenever I think of the individual screening opportunities, like if I just pull out the eye screening, for instance, Dr. Pat, who brings his entire team, they do all these eye screenings, and then they bring reading glasses to give away for free for the attendees. I mean, there's such caring, there's such involvement, there's such commitment from individuals who participate in this event that not only is it saving you time and convenient and free, but it's also an incredibly warm and caring environment.
Yeah. I had the opportunity in preparation for today's interview to go onto the website, and I was able to look at pictures from previous events. And I will be at the event on the 21st, because I want to experience that. I want to see all the different people that come take advantage of this event. I want to see those people that have stepped up and within the community and that are offering their services to people within the community. I want to experience that myself. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it. I've marked it on my calendar. I will be stopping by. I just want you to know that. Now, I do want to take some time to talk about the screenings, because there are a number of screenings that that all the men will have access to, in addition to some other things. But let's just stick to the screenings. What screenings are you able to talk about? All the screenings that are actually available.
So when men enter the event, they first get their vitals screened, and then they move on to oral cancer screenings, mental health, hearing, vision, peripheral vascular, and then we have other smaller screening opportunities, such as getting your back evaluated, lower extremities, podiatric examination. We have skin examinations, and then we move into the blood screening area, And then we offer free vaccinations so that you can get up to date on your vaccinations at the event. And then while you're there, we offer free food for all of our attendees.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that, but I got a question. Now, I imagine that some of the screenings that you're not going to be able to get the results there. So how will someone that takes advantage of all these screenings get their results?
So almost everything is immediate results, and we have people standing by. For instance, when you're getting your vitals screened, if we find that you have stage 3 or higher hypertension, you're then transferred over to our cardiac area where we have cardiologists, we have EKG machines, and we can do the extra testing and screening as warranted. And then we have counseling opportunities. If you go to the mental health area and we find that you may be suicidal, we have suicide prevention individuals there for counseling and screening. When you get your HIV screening done, if you're found to be HIV positive, there's HIV mental health screeners available for those opportunities. So not only do we do the screenings, but we do the counseling and care right there on the spot, and you get the results immediately. The only tests that you don't get immediately are the blood tests. And those results will become available and sent directly to your digital mailbox within 7 days.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, as you know, I am a big advocate of prevention. And since many illnesses, I don't want to say all of them, are preventable, I understand that the event will also provide tips on how to live a healthy lifestyle, information about health topics, as well as provide ways to increase awareness about advances in healthcare. Can you talk about how during all this wonderful things that are happening with the screenings and everything, how would those type things take place?
So we have well over 100 sponsors and partners that contribute to this event to make it a success. And we have a rule. If you're an individual that provides a service, you don't pay any fees to be at this event. If you don't provide a service, then there's a very nominal fee just to cover the cost of having your table and having you present at the event. And what you would then be providing is educational opportunities for individuals at this event. So we have, as I said, over 100 sponsors and partners who will line up all along the walkways at Ford Field, giving you all of the educational opportunities you need with every aspect of men's health, how to get healthy and stay healthy. And then as well, we also have educational and vocational opportunities at our event, because we believe that as a result of COVID, a number of men may have either lost their jobs or lost the type of job that they do, and we're looking to get retrained and re-educated back into the workforce. And so we've partnered with a number of educational resources around the greater Detroit community to offer these opportunities to men at this event so that they can get back in the game with regards to their work and educational opportunities.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think too, Dr. Lutz, that some people, the job that they had pre-COVID either changed drastically, or sometimes those jobs were eliminated. I mean, in some situations, those jobs were eliminated. So you weren't able to go back to the job that you had before.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people now are working from home. And that comes with a whole nother can of worms, because people are not interacting as much. They're more socially isolated. And I think that as a result of that, there's been other mental health issues that have kind of blossomed as a result of this, of the individuals now becoming more cloistered in their own personal environments and not getting out and interacting as much. So we do believe that the mental health aspect of our event is really crucial for men to take advantage of, and it's all free. And so, a lot of mental health services are not free or readily available, but at our event, it is. And so we do encourage a lot of men to take advantage of those services.
I love it. Well, I'm a therapist too, so I'm a big fan of that. So very excited. I've been very busy, because not just from COVID, but just I believe that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of stress that they've never dealt with before. And they're finding it very difficult to manage that stress. And they don't necessarily have the tools and the coping mechanisms to deal with stress effectively. And so myself and many of my colleagues, we're We definitely have a lot of clients that have turned to us for support, and many people that are reaching out to us for support. It's almost like not enough of us to go around.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in order for us to assess whether or not we're doing a good job or not for our men's health community, we administer a 4-page questionnaire. It's all digital now. One is part of it's a PHQ-9 for mental health assessment, but we ask other questions to ascertain where they're at in their perception of their health and the reality of their health. And we also ask questions like their daily stress level, their daily pain level, and how they sleep, whether they wake up in the morning feeling rested. And we just like to get an idea as to how their daily lives are going, not because we want to pry into their daily lives, but to find out are we being impactful? Number one. And then number two is how can we become more impactful, and what services could we provide that would be of a greater benefit to our men's health community?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that I was very excited to see is that there's going to be I think a very important conversation that you're going to be having with Dr. Mark, and is it Moad?
Moad, yeah.
Yeah, Director of Preventative and Alternative Medicine for the University of Michigan Medical Center, Department of Urology. So, and this is during the What's Up Doc halftime show. I don't know if I said that, so I wanted to make sure that I gave you your plug. What will you be discussing during that conversation?
Well, I've known Dr. Moad for close to 40 years now, and we've watched each other's careers over the last 40 years, and he is one of the nation's leading experts on nutritional supplements and what works and what's worthless. In fact, there's a book entitled that was on one of the nation's bestseller lists that he published a few years back. But what makes him special is that he can make everything that we do as far as nutrition and supplements relevant. He understands what it's like to pick out a vitamin and what it's like to see the labels on something and what really makes sense and what doesn't. And what are we doing to our bodies that's smart, and what are we doing to our bodies that's smartless? And so he's just so good at boiling everything down and communicating his thoughts. And so it's really a pleasure and a treat to have someone like him, not only on the board of our foundation, but also every year giving of his time to spend an hour with us on the main stage to answer people's questions and to talk about just getting through life and doing it the best way that we can.
I love it. I love it. Now, what was interesting, so I read that, and then I also came across something that was very exciting to me. I had a conversation, actually. So I led a interview with Dr. Thomas Joyner on the Kevin Song stage. And the Kevin Song is a big conference on suicide that takes place every year. And we were having a conversation about mental health and suicide. Specifically, one of the things that we talked about was the importance of identifying key figures within communities that are perfectly positioned to share information and to support health conversations. And one of the things that he highlighted was the significance of barbers within the communities and the key roles that they play. And I saw that in addition to the conversation you're going to have with Dr. Moad, you also are going to have a panel discussion called Barbershops and Man's Health, featuring Detroit area barbers. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, we've been wanting to train men's health advocates for well over a decade now. And it's really hard to find guys that are willing to go through a training program so that they could then become an advocate for other men and be their trainers. And that's what our process is. One of our board members, Dr. Jackie Hawkins, works out of the University of Michigan in the School of Public Health, has been very successful in developing some peer trainers. And so we just recently received a grant to do this, and we're looking to expand that here in the city of Detroit, working with the Detroit Health Department and Denise Ferrazzo on how to really get into the barbershops and the churches and places where people work, play, and pray to get the message out as to what they need to do to get healthy. And so we think that barbers are great advocates because it's a safe place. It's a place of comfort. It's a place where people go to have that conversation without judgment. And we don't have enough of those because it seems like we live in a world where everything we say or do is being judged. But sometimes it's nice to know that somewhere it's Vegas and that's it. That's Guy's Vegas. And so
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
and I don't go to a barbershop enough. I wish I did. I wish I needed it more. But I can tell you that when I do go, it's just a great environment. It's a very casual atmosphere. And I think that if you were to look at our men's health event, it's the same feeling that you get there that you get at a barbershop. It's just bigger.
Yeah, much bigger, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, one of the things that I did want to ask you, and you actually talked about a little bit, it's something that say in the South, if you feed them, they will come. And I understand that, as you mentioned earlier, that lunch will be provided. So as a fitness nutrition specialist, I have to ask, what will the lunch be? Is it healthy?
Well, the hot dog is still the classic. Everybody loves the hot dog. But we used to have a PB&J, crustless PB&J. And so this year we're going with a tuna sandwich. It's a hard negotiation with the folks at Ford Field for meals because they definitely, if you've ever been to a football game, you know that the pricing of the food can be pretty exorbitant. And so we don't get a break. And so if we're going to do it for free, we try to make sure that we spend as much of our budget on providing healthcare services versus food services. But we still want to make sure that our patrons are taken care of and that they get reasonable food options and that we're also trying not to kill them at the same time we're trying to make them healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important.
It is.
Yeah. Now, you did talk about the adult education vendors and that they are going to be providing education and vocational opportunities for skill-based training. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Is that something that has always been part of the event, or is that something that you recently added to it just because of COVID?
It is. It's totally because of COVID that we added it. So it's only been there in the last couple of years. Okay. And it's actually been a challenge to get a number of schools to take time out of their Saturday to set up a table, bring educational information for the guys at this event. But we still managed to do it. And a lot of them are technical schools. Some of them are universities, local schools like Wayne Community College, as well as Wayne State University. We do everything we can to get people engaged as far as all the different universities and other types of training programs. We can always use more. That's the way I look at it. The more, the merrier. It's kind of like we also have areas and services for women who bring the men to the event to honor and appreciate them. And so we have educational materials for women-related health diseases, as well as we try to see if we can get manicures for the women at the event to try and make it a special experience, an upper body massage. So we try to do what we can to just try and say thank you to people who bring others to the event.
Yeah. Now, actually, this is something I think that's very important to mention because I did notice that even though women and children are invited to attend the event, that they should not register for the event. I did note that on the website. Is that true?
That's correct. It is for adult males.
Okay.
So the children and families are more than welcome to join us, and we're glad to have you there. But they won't be part of the screenings.
Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to, that was clearly stated on the website, and just in the event that someone overlooks that when they go to the website, to look at all the wonderful pictures and everything, to see all the screenings that are available and all that is offered there. If they overlook that part, I just want to make sure that women that are going to be, supporting their man as they go through the screenings understand that they don't have to register. They just have to make sure that their guy registers for the event.
Exactly. And they hold their hand through the event. That's something we encourage.
Okay, I love it. Now, children can attend as well. What do kids typically do at an event like this?
There's tons of little snacks and knickknacks that all the vendors like to give away. And so kids love to collect those.
Yeah.
But in addition, there'll be, we have some games set up for the kids to play. We have a giant Jenga, and then we have a couple cornhole games set up, and we'll have events and things for the kids. So yeah, we won't forget about the importance of having kids at the event.
Yeah. I've actually seen that giant Jenga thing, and I saw like a big, at another event I attended not too long ago, there was a, where you could play checkers, like there was a big checkerboard, and then there was a big, Connect Four board. That was really big. I thought, wow, that's really cool. It makes me want to go over there and play. So can you tell me just where can people go, learn more about the event? Where can they register? All the necessary information that perhaps I may not have asked you about.
Sure. So they can go directly to themenshealthevent.com and register right there on the site. They can even fill out their questionnaire in advance and have all the paperwork digitally taken care of before the event, so that when they show up, all they do is they get a wristband and they get going and do whatever they want to do. And again, collecting the data on the individuals is, number one, it's confidential. Their names are not attached to it, only their number is attached to it. And we keep everything HIPAA compliant. And we use this data to study our men's health population, understand their needs, and try and find ways to improve the services that we provide.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy day to always say share your purpose and passion. But also, I thank you again for all the wonderful work that you've done in the community for many, many years. And thank you again for creating this opportunity for men to come and get their screenings and to become healthier and have the tools and the resources that they need to be healthier. So I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you. And back at you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for listening to Empowerment with Angela T. Moore. Feel free to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it. New episodes come out weekly. Follow our show on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now.